Under the sun, the fields are alive. Cheering crowds and the teams collide. In these moments, we stand tall and free. First pride runs deep in me. With every touchdown, we rise and we cheer. Unity and spirit, the heart of the year. Raising voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zone to go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. Girls in the game, they're fierce and bright. Flag in hand, they give it their might. From every town they bring their dreams. On this field of gold, nothing's as it seems. Together we shine, together we play. In Florida's heart, we own this day. Raise your voices, let's make it loud. In Florida's high schools, we're so damn proud. From the bleachers to the end zones go, football and cheers make our spirits grow. So here's to the game, we'll rise and stand. In Florida's field, radio giant band.
All right, everybody, welcome to the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here. Josh Wilson here along with Christopher Like here as we get rolling here. And Chris, as we roll into week number 2 here, I mean, it is really, really going to be interesting to see how things shake out here on the Space and Treasure Coast because there was a lot that happened here over week 1. And boy, it is crazy. But how you doing, my man? Oh, I don't hear you, Chris. Your microphone, Chris.
There we go. Yeah, doing great. I think the biggest headline is some team named Coco.
Yeah, I was stunned as well to see what happened there with that game there. But another game that we will talk about here, and we're gonna kind of reverse it a little bit so that way we don't keep Coach waiting here with head coach Lenny Jankowski from Vero Beach High School. They picked up a big win on Friday night over Okeechobee. It was at 41-31, and that was a back and forth, but it was a good ball game when you're looking at everything here. And let's get into it here with our interview. Actually, we're going to go ahead and bring in Coach Jankowski here. Coach, appreciate you taking some time out of your Tuesday evening to be able to talk with us with everything. And congratulations on getting that opening week win here. And over Okeechobee, just talk about it because I know at one point there was some injuries for both teams for both sides of the game, and I know that kind of got fans worried there. But go through us with that game and how y'all managed to come out with the victory on the end of that one over Okeechobee. Oh, Coach, I can't hear you. We don't have Coach's microphone here, so let's see. Coach, Coach, if you hit the wheel square, the little the setting on the square, the wheel on the bottom of the screen, you might be able to should be able to bring up and see where your mic, see if it's connected to your microphone. If not, Coach, call me on call my cell phone. Call my cell phone number, Coach, and I'll be able to tap you into through the thing, and we'll bring the audio and just leave the camera on. Yeah, we've got a little bit of a technical audio here, but I'm going to make sure that the Bluetooth is on so I can go ahead in case I need to bring Coach in through. Let me go ahead. Let me do it this way here. Coach, I'm going to call are you on your cell phone, Coach, doing the video? We're going to see if we can bring Coach in through the audio. If he's got the camera on, we're going to do that. We're going to see if we can bring the audio in. Let me see if we can do it this way. We apologize, everybody. Sometimes technology doesn't want to cooperate with us sometimes, so we'll do it this way here. Let's do. I'm going to do it this way here through the coaches to see if we can get him. Can
you hear me now?
Yeah, we can do it this way with the audio. So we can just leave the video on. We'll do it this way through the audio. Oh yeah, turn your volume down on the computer. Yeah, there we go.
All right, how's that sound?
That's much better, Coach. Appreciate you being able to join us here. I know we're doing a little, doing the old-fashioned way with the phone here, but Coach, just kind of give us a little bit of insight here with everything that happened Friday night, getting a big win over O'Galley, 41-31. I know there was at some moments it was kind of fans had worried on both sides because there were some injuries and stuff, but just talk about being able to persevere against an O'Galley team that was a state semifinalist in last year.
Foremost, like you said, it had the makings for a great game. Two very talented starting quarterbacks, and Coach Sands does a great job, and so we were looking forward to it. And then really just there's always going to be some adversity that happens. You just never know when it's gonna. And their starting quarterback went down with an injury, early, midway through the first quarter, early, right at the start of second quarter, I should say, and so then they left with their backup on the field, and then our starting quarterback went down about the midway through the second quarter, and so game plans change a little bit, and they're a very talented football team with a lot of good athletes, and like I said, Coach does a great job. We were fortunate that one of our athletes, EJ White, came in for and he's played some quarterback. He's a very talented athlete, has started since his freshman year at multiple positions and really did a great job. Our starting quarterback was off to a great start, ended up having a minor injury. We didn't know if we were going to get him back in the game or not. And as it turned out, EJ ended up doing a great job, as you mentioned. We came away with a 41-31 victory. It was a hard-fought game. I think, like I said, game plans changed throughout, and Coach did a great job. They made some great halftime adjustments and came out and did some unique things on offense to give us some fits in the second half, and it came down to the wire. We were able to come away with a 41-31 victory.
Awesome. I believe Chris has a question here.
Yes, Coach, you alluded to it with both starting quarterback going down, and both you guys at the sophomore, I believe, and they're the freshman. Talk about the adversity with the young guys coming in such a big game to start off the season.
Yeah, so our starting quarterback, Champ Mons, is super talented. He is a sophomore, and I believe their quarterback's a junior, and he's another highly ranked QB. And so I know that Coach and I both were looking forward to this game. Two very talented quarterbacks with some talented weapons around them, and then both guys go down, and so, we're left with, working through backups and doing some different things. And as I said, we were very fortunate. Our backup came in, and really, I say backup loosely because he's a starter in other positions. And EJ came in and was responsible for 3 touchdowns, was 4 or 5 passing, had 7 carries for 84 yards and 2 rushing touchdowns. And so, like I said, we were able to sustain the lead and keep it throughout, and kept that cushion because they were battling back and very scrappy. And like I said, they've got some talented athletes, and Coach always does a great job. You mentioned being a Final Four team from last year, and in talking to Coach Sands prior to the game, I know that he's very excited about his group. He felt like even with the Final Four team last year, that this team had some more talent than even last year's team. So we felt fortunate to come away with the win, and obviously have our hands full this week as we travel up to Gainesville and get a chance to play Buchholz.
No, absolutely. I mean, before I talk about that with the road trip coming up here, Coach, we have a question from Mark Cannon in our fan chat here. Have you ever coached a team with so much speed like this one, the one that you have now for this year? I mean, I know you've been at Vero Beach. I mean, goodness, it's been a long minute now since you came to Vero Beach, but I know you were at Walton. I believe you were at John Carroll before that. So you've been to quite a few places, but I mean, is there anything that compares to what you've got here?
I think as coaches, we're prone to getting caught up in the now, and you don't ever want to just do that to do it. But I am very encouraged with this team. I should say there's a lot of talent, and it's a nice mix. There's some experience, some senior experience and leadership, and then we have some nice some underclassmen with some very talented guys. And it's throughout. We've got some good talent on the offensive and defensive line. We've got some on the perimeter and the secondary on defense, and then with our offensive skill. And so I think it's a nice mix. It has the makings, but again, it's a long season. We've already started talking about injuries and things that happen throughout a season. Our schedule's not very forgiving. Here right from the jump with starting out with the O'Galley. We played Miami Norland in Kickoff Classic. Travel up to Buchholz, and then we have Cocoa, coming back on week 3. So we jump into it with a bang. No rest for the weary, so to speak, and just really looking forward to it. This group is a lot of fun to go to practice with, and as you mentioned, very talented.
No, absolutely. And with that said, you've mentioned the trip up to Gainesville this week to play Buchholz, and Buchholz, a gritty team who pulled out a 15-13 victory after 2.5 hours of weather issues this past weekend. And Coach, I mean, what is it to go up against a group that, against a veteran head coach as well, and Mark Whittemore? I mean, Coach Whittemore, his team, he always has his teams ready for whatever battle comes his way. And, just talk about being able to put this, have this matchup on the schedule against a team that's been in the state semifinals 4 straight years.
Yeah, I mean, you mentioned it. Coach Whittemore does a great job. His teams are always very, very well coached, very talented. This group is no exception. I think they've got one of the best individual players in the state, in the Williams kid. I mean, he does everything on offense, and he lines up everywhere. You got to account for him, and then they've got weapons around him. Obviously, Coach's son is now the starting quarterback, and you know how that goes when you've got a guy back there, an extension of the coach, and so I'm just very impressed with his group. My first time ever, going and having an opportunity to play him was last year. I went into the game very impressed and came away from the game even more impressed. So he does a great job. This will be some challenges, obviously getting on the road, traveling 3.5 hours or whatever it is to Gainesville, and then get an opportunity to play a very talented football team. So we're looking forward to it. I think we'll be up to the challenge, and like I said, we'll see where we're at when we get there.
No, absolutely. And Chris, you got any final questions as we wrap this up here with Coach Jankowski?
Yeah, Coach. You talk about the recruiting angle with your players at the Division I level, especially with the NIL system that's coming through the high schools. How have you adjusted to the NIL and the transfer portal as it relates to the recruiting and going into the college level as well?
Yeah, I mean, this is Coach kind of went through, or Josh kind of went through my resume there to start with, and I've been doing this way too long, as you mentioned, and this was surely nothing that I think any of us that have been doing it this long signed up for or thought that we were signing up for. So it's a different era for sure, not just with high school football, but as you mentioned, what's going on in college and the recruiting calendar and things happening earlier and sooner, and it's almost. Sometimes it almost feels like it's out of order with, how crazy recruiting is and how fast it's happening and all those kinds of things. We talked about the 2 quarterbacks, the matchup that we had with O'Galley and both these guys, including our quarterback, and well-deserved guys that are highly, highly recruited. But, this is a big senior class for us as well. We've got some guys that, have some offers, and I'm sure we'll be dealing with, and have been dealing with the NIL opportunities that will be presented with them, once they get to college. We haven't had to deal with it a whole lot at the high school level, but we know it's coming. It was a situation that was passed here last year, a couple years ago anyway, where high school students are now afforded the opportunity to benefit from NIL opportunities if it's presented their way. So, I just think, like I said, it's a different era, and I know that there are a lot of student athletes at the college level that are benefiting and benefiting a great deal with NIL opportunities. And like I said, it's just a different era, and who would have thought, and I'm excited for those guys and the opportunities that they get. And some of it, some of these top end recruits, it's generational type money that they'll get along with their scholarship. So again, it's a different era, but some great opportunities for a lot of guys.
No, absolutely, Coach. And Coach, definitely appreciate you taking some time out of your busy schedule with everything and team practices. But hopefully, if I can get everything, potentially, catch up. But I might be able to slip out to see y'all this way Friday night between y'all and Buchholz at Citizens Field in Gainesville. And definitely best of luck in that game. I know it's going to be a tough one, but it's going to be a fun one for those fans who like really good football games in the state.
No doubt. And I appreciate, I think I speak for all the coaches. We appreciate what you guys do and all the coverage that you give high school football. We're very appreciative. So thanks again.
No, I appreciate it, Coach. Thank you so much. And you have a wonderful night.
All right. Thank you, guys.
All right. Thank you. That was head coach Lenny Jankowski from the Vero Beach Indians joining us here on the Space and Treasure Coast Blitz. And Chris, it's just amazing what Vero Beach did here in week one. Vero Beach has been in good hands for a long time under coach.
Yeah, I'm very excited to see what Vero Beach does this year, especially with a tough early schedule. And I think that the toughness early is going to benefit them in the long run, especially going down to the playoff run this year.
No, absolutely. Of course, especially when the FHA MaxPress Power Rankings comes out later, starting around week 5, we'll start to get a good gauge of where things are going. I'm starting to get a good gauge of where things are going with the Florida Power Rankings Index, where teams are going to go here. But again, it's still early in the season. A lot can happen. The numbers really are going to fluctuate here. But in terms of everything here, Chris, why don't we take a quick break and we'll come back here and then we'll do a quick story with the Blitz Lines and then go and get into our pick 6. How about that?
Sounds great.
All right. We'll be right here on the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz. We'll be right back right after this.
High school sports fans, follow your team live with a free ScoreStream mobile app. Download ScoreStream to get real-time scores, photos, and awesome video. Plus, follow your favorite teams and friends. Get real-time high school sports from ScoreStream.
Box Out gives you the ability to create graphics at the speed of sports to highlight your athletic department, teams, and student athletes in seconds. Used and trusted by Notre Dame, Ohio State, UConn, Marquette, Georgetown, and many more of the top college brands in the country. If you want your school's brand to stand out through all the clutter, start your free demo at boxoutsports.com.
Juggled and caught!
All right, welcome back here to the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz here on FloridaHSFootball.com. As I get back to our screen graphics here, we're going to do a little bit of the Blitz Lines. We're going to go through it very quickly here, Chris, and we're just going to get that rolling here real quick. Oh, there we go. Okay. Not the Price is Right horde, right?
Well, you could do that.
Anyways, as we do our quick looking back at our pick six games here as part of our recap of what's in the news here. Sebring over Martin County. Sebring wins in a close one. It was Martin County was up 10-0 in that game at halftime, but going the thing, Sebring came back, and as Reno said, they'd be there. And Sebring's known for racing, and sure enough, they pulled to the finish line to win that game on Friday night. Chris.
Yeah, Sebring, big second half, and all the credits to the world to Sebring winning that game.
No, absolutely. Sebring 13-10 over Martin County. That was a final there for that game. And Rockledge at Vieira, the battle, I think they called it the backyard. Well, you know what? No one saw this one coming. Rockledge. Oh, yeah, that was
There's that horn.
Yeah, that Rockledge would like to have that one back, and Rockledge loses to Vieira 22-21. So I definitely I know we kind of talked about doing this, Chris, but I know we didn't do it in the last show. But actually, I would like to give a helmet sticker out to Vieira for the that's a huge win for them, especially in everything that they've been doing. If you needed a statement win to start out the season, there you go. That was the one that you needed right there for Vieira. That was a statement win right there to get that over Rockledge.
Yeah, Eric Nelson, 13 of 24 passing, 152 yards, 2 touchdowns. Also had 94 yards rushing. So big game for Eric Nelson at quarterback for Vieira.
No, and then Coco at Merritt Island. Just double overtime. Come on, man. Come on.
What can you say about this game? I mean,
there's one of two things with this, Chris, on this about Coco and Merritt Island. There's one or two things. Either, let's see, it's either Coco's not fully gelled. That is weird. I don't know why the video signal on is the signal back. We have not actually lost connection, Emery, so I don't know what might be going on, because everything is actually coming green light on my side, and I don't see any connection error issues on our end here as well. So I'm not exactly sure what's going on, but taking a look at it, it's showing. Let's see what I don't know why because it's showing. I don't know. It may be something on Facebook's end, Emery. So if you got YouTube, it might be better to watch on YouTube. We're really trying to push people towards watching on YouTube anyways. We may, if this keeps up, I keep having issues with Facebook. It's not necessarily Facebook limiting the videos. I'm noticing that there's a lot of issues with Facebook with the videos just going out in general. So if this keeps going on, we may just become more strictly YouTube and just go push everybody to YouTube. Yeah.
Facebook has had issues, and I think Instagram has had issues as well as going live as well. So it's more of a meta thing than anything else.
Yeah, so we recommend if you're really on YouTube, and Mark, I didn't really want to try to bring up Brady Hart as part of as the big reason why this would explain it for Coco, but here we are. I mean, it really is at the end of the day. Not having Brady Hart, Brady Hart graduating, not being able to replace him necessarily, that does take a big hit right there. But I think it also says to the testament that Merritt Island was prepared for what Coco had, regardless, and Merritt Island was not taking no for an answer in this game.
Yeah, and Coco had his replacement is Champ Smith, and Champ Smith had 294 passing yards for Coco. So that they're not going to miss a beat, especially this year. But I don't know if it's a talent level drop off between Brady Hart and Champ Smith or what.
Yeah, yeah. By the way, yeah, I don't know. I mean, it really you graduate a lot of talent. The question is, will Coco still be in the mix for getting there in the for straight championship? I wonder. That's. I think there's a possibility, but we'll see what happens here. But rolling along here, going and looking at the games, Osceola just obliterated Treasure Coast. 35-0. I believe that was 35-0. I want to say. Let me go. I got the results here. Yes, indeed, it is 35-0. Cardinal Newman blew out John Carroll. That was 49-0. And of course, we talked about O'Galley and Vero Beach with Coach Jankowski. And talk about that. But by the way, I failed to mention this here, but I'll bring it up here when we get ready to do this here. And that's to say is that we are going to go into the pick six, because we got to roll along here because we have another show at 8:30. Might as well go ahead and get the pick six going here. All right. Let me just say this here real quick here. I failed to mention this on the last show, and I'll go ahead and mention it here. I apologize for anybody that's tried watching on Facebook and they are not on the Facebook. Facebook, we are having issues. This may be the final straw with the Facebook streaming, because it's not because of the music or anything, because I'm not getting any copyright notifications. It's just they're having issues with the streaming here. So I don't know what's going on. Hold on. Let me 1 second. Let me get Emery over to you.
One thing we make consider maybe going to another platform in the future as well. So, and that's Twitch.
We'll explore Twitch and see what we got, but I definitely want to keep the push on YouTube here, as we've been really growing that here as we roll along here. But I failed to mention the record with the picks and everything in our Southwest Florida Blitz. By the way, Chris, you were 8-4. You're 8-4 overall, 4-2 last week. I'm 9-3. Reno is 6-6. That's our overall record. I was 5-1 last week in that one. Reno 2-4. Now, in our Space and Treasure Coast one, myself and Reno 4-2. You were 3-3. Our records right now is 6-3 for myself. You're 5-4. Reno is actually 7-2. On the picks here in the Space and Treasure Coast edition. So not bad. And I do have an overall count as well. I have a whole spreadsheet set up basically for this. And right now, Chris is 45-32 with win percentage of 58.4%. Reno is at 59.2% at 45-31. And myself, I am at 51-26 with win percentage of 66.2%. That's overall across our 8 shows so far, week 0 and week 1. So I will stress that here for our next several shows here. But I apologize again for anybody that's been trying to watch on Facebook and haven't had to come over to YouTube or X. I would recommend you really stick to YouTube and X. We'll keep trying with Facebook. Facebook is just keep giving issues, so I don't know what's going on, and I apologize again. But let's start with our pick 6 here real quick. Let's get rolling here, Chris. Our first one, Viera at Deltona here. Both of them coming off big wins. Deltona beat Crescent City pretty handedly Friday night. That one, I believe I've got it sitting right here. Yes, Deltona 40, Crescent City 13. That was a final there. So Viera looking for win number 2, but Deltona also looking for win number 2 on the season. And this will be interesting, I think, in terms of the forecast here as we bring it up here. So what do you think, Chris, on this one?
I like Deltona at home, but it's going to be closer than a lot of people think. I think Viera could end up winning this game, but I think Deltona get the edge at home.
No, absolutely, and I am definitely leaning for Deltona at home as well. I think Deltona. I feel like this is where it's going to go here, and Reno is headed with Viera, but it's not a bad pick. I mean, it's only a 6-point game here being forecasted by the FPRI predictions. Win probability giving Deltona a 73% chance to win. All right. Let's roll into our second game. Melbourne Central Catholic at Trinity Catholic. I believe that game is on the road, I want to say here. We were putting this together here, trying to make sure everything was done right, but I'm going to make sure that I believe that one is actually, you know what? I apologize. Trinity Catholic is at Melbourne Central Catholic, so it's reversed. I apologize. So Trinity Catholic at Melbourne Central Catholic. And this one, interesting, Trinity Catholic coming off a 1.76 win over Tampa Catholic. Melbourne Central Catholic, let's go to that. I'm going to pull that up here. But, Chris, what are you thinking on this one here?
This is one of those games that's going to be very tight, and it's going to be I think Melbourne Central Catholic will win this game, but Trinity Catholic is not a team to play around with.
No, I mean, they've got new coaching this year at Trinity Catholic. They're definitely trying to get back onto the winning path. They've had some struggles. They had some struggles last year, 2-9 season, obviously. They after coming off two state runner-up finishes in the Class 1S bracket, didn't make that far in 1A last year. And looking at it from here, I mean, just thinking about it with Melbourne Central Catholic, I think Melbourne Central Catholic is a much stronger team here. And I'm going to try to get it up here on the thing. So, yeah, they beat Somerset Canyons 35-7 here. And the forecast, it's calling for Melbourne Central Catholic 18 over Trinity Catholic, giving Melbourne MCC a 94% chance to win. What Chris said, I think it's going to be closer, but I'm going MCC as well. And so is Reno. So we're all in agreement with MCC, but we think it's going to probably be closer in terms of what that game is going to be like. All right. Our third game is O'Galley and Rockledge. So O'Galley and Rockledge, Chris, what are you thinking here on this one of O'Galley and Rockledge both being dealt losses last week? Someone's got to be hungry for their first win of the season.
This is a really juicy matchup. I like O'Galley on the road, but Rockledge is going to be pissed off.
I mean, it definitely is going to be one of those things here that they're going to be saying, and I'm going to make sure that I do confirm that make sure that it's O'Galley Rock. Yeah. No, wait a second. Hold on 1 second. Let me make sure that I've got this right here. Did I put the right forecast? Yeah. No, wait a second. Hold on. It's O'Galley at Rockledge. Sorry. Let me get this real quick here with the forecast here just to make sure that we're gotten it right here. Sorry. It's one of those days here where we got everything going, and let's making sure here. Let me make sure that we're giving you the right information. I don't want anybody to show up at the stadium and not go, but actually, yes, it is. Actually, it's the other way around. It's Rockledge at O'Galley. So I'm sorry, guys. Good question, Mark. I sound like the injury was kind of gnarly, but we'll have to see if he is cleared this week to play. We'll have to find out, but I haven't seen anything from Coach Sands posting that he's going to start this week. But boy, this one, I'm going O'Galley here. Chris, who are you going with?
Yeah, I'm going with O'Galley. Like I said, Rockledge will be ticked off just like we see with a couple other teams that we talked about tonight. But I think O'Galley get the edge.
All right. As we roll along here really quick we've got O'Galley as a 13-point favorite over Rockledge. O'Galley, 88% chance to win that game here. All right. Our next game is Seminole Sanford at Heritage Palm Bay. Chris, Seminole, they took a big goose egg last week against Creekside, Georgia, but maybe this is the game they need in order to get back in shape here. But Heritage, looking at everything here for Heritage Panthers, coming off a 25-19 win over Titusville. So let's see. This one, I'm leaning to Heritage in this one here, Chris. I feel like
I am too. I think Heritage gets the win at home, maybe by a touchdown.
Yeah, but guess what? What is the computer saying? It's leaning to Sanford Seminole winning this game by 1 point, giving Seminole a 54% chance to win this game. I feel like the computer is wrong. The algorithm is wrong, but again, it's early season stuff, so we've got to let the first few weeks play out. These rankings will settle down as we roll along with the season, as teams start playing more at should be a projected more projected level here. But right now, again, we're trying to figure out what's going to happen here with the games as we roll along. But I disagree with my own algorithm. I'm doing Heritage, and so is Reno. All right. As we roll into our fifth game, Jensen Beach at Treasure Coast. Again, Treasure Coast got blown out 35-0 here last weekend. And looking at it here, Treasure Coast for Jensen Beach here. I'm trying to pull up who they beat last week. They beat South Fork 22-0 here. So I really like what the Falcons do. What Tim Caffey does, I'm pretty solid. But I don't want Treasure Coast usually is a good team, but the last couple of years have been more of a struggle than not, and that's where I lean towards Jensen Beach here in this early season Week 2 game.
I like Jensen Beach to bowl by a couple touchdowns on the road.
No, absolutely here, and I'm going to go with Jensen Beach as well. Reno's going with Jensen Beach as well. So as we roll along here, all right, our final game here for week number 6, as you see, Jensen Beach, a 17-point favorite, a 93% chance on the win probability to win that game. Chris, Cocoa at Mainland. Woo. Y'all not gonna agree with the computer ranking. I get it. You're not gonna agree with what the computer says. What Mark Cannon says. What the computer says.
Oh boy.
As we look at it, Cocoa 37 over Mainland. I do not think it's going to be 37. Mainland has been dealing with some injuries. That's why they didn't play week 1 last week after getting dropped by Orange City University after they posted their schedule in the offseason. They got dropped right immediately the same day. But come to find out, looking at this, honestly, maybe it was good for Mainland. Get an extra week of rest. Now you know that Cocoa is vulnerable. You know the Tigers are vulnerable. I don't think it's going to be 37. I think this is going to be much closer, and I think Mainland has a shot at winning this game.
Yeah, I agree with you. As much as we see Cocoa struggling this week, I don't know if that's trying to think the combo or what. But I think Cocoa's going to win it, but not by very much.
No, I don't think so by very much either. I think Cocoa's going to win it. Reno's taking Cocoa, but this one is going to be way too close for comfort for anybody. You're a fan. You're a Cocoa fan. I'm sorry, but this is going to be a season of pins and needles, I think, for y'all right now until things straighten out. So, and so, Mr. Orange, I know it's very tail end, but I'm back. Hello. that might be Emery there, I believe, actually, because he finally got onto YouTube here. So sticking with YouTube, and we'll definitely make sure that you're on here as well. But all right, that's our final game of the Pick 6 here. And Chris, any final thoughts as we wrap this up here? We get ready for our South Florida Blitz show.
Yeah, I'm looking to see how O'Galley does, and I'm looking to see how Cocoa does, especially going into next week. Melbourne Central Catholic and Trinity Catholic. That's a great matchup. So a lot of fun matchups this week.
No, absolutely here. All right, as we wrap this up, we're going to come with you here in a few minutes here for the South Florida edition of the Blitz here. And we appreciate everybody joining us. And, of course, Coach Lenny Jankowski joining us here from Vero Beach High School here on the Space and Treasure Coast edition of the Blitz. We'll be back here in a few minutes right here on FloatHSFootball.com and the FloatHSFootball.com social media platforms.